Tonight, the time to buy.
It's huge, it's substantial, and it's getting people off the sidelines.
New home sales surging, spurred by the HST cut. Plus, a local shelter in need of rescue.
We just felt like criminals. We were in tears for 3 weeks.
Fallout from an animal welfare complaint and a watchdog investigation. And a veteran's message.
They said that's where my trauma stems from.
His cross-country tour supporting fellow soldiers with PTSD.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with developing news in Washington, where urgent trade negotiations are underway. Canadian and U.S. officials are trying to avoid President Donald Trump's threatened 50% tariffs. With more on where those discussions are at, here's Mike Lucature.
CTV News has learned that both Canadian and American trade representatives are aiming to put the layout of a trade deal in front of U.S. President Donald Trump in the days ahead of that August 19th deadline.
How confident are you about getting a deal, Minister?
Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Canada's lead trade negotiator with the U.S., Janice Charette, had a nearly 1-hour meeting with U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer on Tuesday. Now, it's unclear how that meeting went, but last week, industry sources with knowledge of the discussions were cautiously optimistic about the progress that was being made. Proposals are being discussed by both sides, including the removing of Canadian counter tariffs on autos and looking at those provincial bans on American alcohol. Canadian dairy quotas are also on the table. In exchange, the U.S. would agree to lower sectoral tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, autos, and the lumber industry as well. Following today's meeting, Minister Dominic LeBlanc was tight-lipped about how it went.
Minister, how close are we to a deal?
Bonjour. Hello. You know we're not going to discuss those things.
But how confident are you the way that the conversations
Mike,
are going?
Full points for trying. You're outside in the Washington heat in the summer.
I know, but a lot of Canadians are wondering. A lot of Canadians are wondering how close you are.
We'll have something to say when the moment's right.
This was the third face-to-face meeting between LeBlanc and Greer in as many weeks. And while it's unclear exactly when they'll sit down together again, LeBlanc's office tells CTV News that Janice Charette is in contact with her American counterparts daily. Mike Lucature, CTV News, Washington.
Local home builders say new home sales have more than doubled, crediting the HST cut earlier this year. As Brian Bicknell reports, they want the program extended to keep the momentum going.
This new subdivision going up in southeast London is bustling with activity.
I was surprised because before that it was significantly slow.
Builder Hisham Soufan says it's been a busy few months.
It just translates to more jobs, more opportunities, and a lot better market for not just builders, but suppliers and trades as well.
On April 1st of this year, the federal and provincial governments cut the 13% HST on eligible new homes, saving buyers up to $130,000 with reduced rates for higher value homes. Realtor Joseph Puckambill says it's been a game changer.
The buyers realize to how the policy implementing, how much they can save instantly. And of course, they get, the brand new house with a builder warranty.
According to the Ontario Home Builders Association, 8,410 new homes sold in Ontario in the first 3 months of the HST cut. That's a 130% increase over the same period last year when 3,645 new homes sold.
This is literally the best time to buy.
London Home Builders CEO Jared Zafman says the price cut turned tire kickers into motivated buyers.
You can get up to $130,000 now off of the price of your home. I mean, it's huge, it's substantial, and it's getting people off the sidelines. I mean, we knew for so many people, certainly for first-time home buyers, but for anybody really, it's a huge benefit, and we're seeing that in spades now.
The program is open to all new home buyers, not just first-time buyers, but it is a short window for savings. The HST cut on new homes only in effect for 1 year and coming to a close at the end of March 2027.
I'd love if they could extend the policies a little bit longer. to make the sales better for us.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Good evening. We dodged the showers today. We did have a bit of rainfall moving toward Essex County, but most of that staying off to the south. A little bit of active weather right now out over the thumb of Huron, but other than that, southern Ontario, temperatures 25 to 26 degrees. It feels a bit hazy out there. It's high cloud that has moved in from the south. The wind's very light on the hour. Still quite humid, feeling like 33 in London, feeling like the upper 20s in Midwestern Ontario. Still about a 30% chance of showers, possibility of a pop-up thunderstorm, and there's the storms I was mentioning just coming in to the lake area. As we head through the overnight, once again, we'll be dealing with some fog, and first thing in the morning coming up, I'll tell you about 2 more unsettled days before we clear out by your Friday. I'll have your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Julie. London police have issued a public safety advisory involving a local man released from custody. They say on July 28th, officers investigated threats to sexually assault and kill a teenage girl. They then charged 19-year-old Connor Bennett with threatening to cause death or bodily harm, as well as possessing child sexual abuse materials. After a contested bail hearing today, London police say Bennett was released with conditions, including he reside in Thorold. They also say they're notifying the community because of concerns for public safety and ask anyone who believes Bennett is breaching his release conditions to call 911. Staff at a St. Thomas animal rescue say their future is at risk, told to pay nearly $200,000 by the province's animal welfare watchdog. Jerry Dewan has more on the circumstances leading to that bill and what they hope to do about it.
Biscuit is one of just over 60 cats currently on site at Saving Animals Lives Together, or SALT. SALT opened its Talbot Street location in September of 2024 and has had a number of visits from provincial inspectors since that time. Agency founder Bonnie Smith says inspections have been helpful and instructive, but she says the tone changed during a visit in May.
It was more of a demanding, like, you're doing this, or this shouldn't be happening, and we just felt like criminals. We were in tears for 3 weeks.
At the time, there were approximately 140 cats on site, and Smith admits a high turnover of volunteers left them overwhelmed.
We had 4 people already leave, and what do you do if you get the animals, but you got 4 people? You don't just ship the animals out.
Smith was told a complaint had been lodged, but wasn't told who launched it or the nature of the complaint. The Provincial Animal Welfare Service, known as PAWS, assigned a designated shelter vet and transferred about 60 cats to the Toronto Humane Society. Approximately 60 others were removed, with 17 being euthanized. Late Monday afternoon, SALT received a statement of account indicating they owed almost $200,000 for vet services and shelter for those cats. It's due August 25th. Well, Smith has launched a fundraiser to try and collect the $198,000. She's also looking at ways that she can challenge the statement of account.
We will be putting complaints in. We will be putting appeals in. And that's all we can do.
In the meantime, none of the cats currently in Salt Rescue can be put up for adoption. The Provincial Animal Welfare Service is part of the Ministry of the Solicitor General. A ministry statement to CTV News said no comments can be made at this time because there is an ongoing investigation. In St. Thomas, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
City Hall officials are considering a special tax credit for owners of standalone heritage buildings.
Start looking at ways that the city could recognize the public benefit of preservation and kind of also recognize the cost and expense that comes to the individual property owners.
An advisory committee has heard concern about rising maintenance and insurance costs for heritage-designated properties. The planning committee has recommended staff report back on potential property tax credits for heritage buildings that are not part of a heritage district, equal to several $1,000s a year in other Ontario cities. A final decision would be made during future budget deliberations.
In most municipalities, they have to enter into a maintenance agreement with the municipality to agree to maintain certain standards on their heritage property. That gives us some leverage to say, well, you haven't met the conditions, so you're not eligible for the credit.
One of Canada's largest motocross events is coming to Huron County this week, and with it comes the risk of crashes. In fact, the likelihood is high enough. Local emergency responders are running specialized training sessions preparing for the anticipated injuries. With more, here's Scott Miller.
One of Canada's largest motocross events is taking place this week in Walton. Races will be won, trophies will be hoisted, but it will also be a week where some of Walton's 980 motocross riders will end up at the Seaforth Hospital's emergency room.
We can see everything from small, simple cuts and lacerations right up to some more serious traumas, similar to what we were playing with here today.
She does have knee braces on.
Cameron is helping to oversee specialized motocross injury training at the Seaforth Hospital, where they see a rise in trauma patients every year during Walton's Trans-Can Amateur Grand National Championships, happening this week and weekend.
Especially in an event like this, we could see kids coming in, teenagers coming in, and of course adults. And pediatric patients are always a little bit scarier than adults because they're not something that we see all the time.
Unless you're a motocross rider yourself, just removing a rider's specialized helmet can seem complicated, let alone trying to remove it during an emergency situation.
We try to do this yearly, actually, and just try to come up with a really good, fresh scenario every time and give them the opportunity to practice equipment removal, IV starts, fluid administration, all the things that they would normally need to know in the moment when, those stressful situations are happening.
While everything's done to try and ensure the safety of riders at the Walton Trans-Can or any motocross race, it is a potentially dangerous sport. People can get injured riding on their motorbikes. So officials here at the hospital and at the motocross say it's best to be prepared in case something does happen. A recent study found 95 out of every 1,000 riders suffers some sort of injury while racing.
This specific trauma scenario we're offering right now just to prepare as this event comes, so that our staff are just ready and prepared for every event that could happen.
It's great being able to partner with the local resources so that we're all one team working towards the same goal, which is to make life easy for anybody that does get hurt.
In Seaforth, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Brantford has installed new code blue emergency phones in the city's downtown. Officials say they're supposed to enhance security measures, offering quick and easy contact with first responders. Alexandra Hollick reports.
As her young sons dash through the splash pad in downtown Brantford, Samantha House keeps a watchful eye.
We do have to be very careful. I have to get the kids to walk right beside me, hold my hand.
The trio treks to the city center for a handful of community events. For House, her family's safety stays top of mind.
We have seen people leaning over, and I've had to explain to them not to touch anything, not to make fun of them, not to point at them.
Harmony Square sees people from all walks of life at all hours of the day.
Downtowns are areas where homeless people tend to congregate. They're also areas where there are large groups of people, and whenever you have a large group of people, there's a potential for emergencies.
Whether it's a medical episode or a rattled sense of security, the city has installed 2 new devices, just in case there's a code blue.
These stations are used to assist people who may be in an emergency situation, who may not have access to a cell phone or any other phone that may be readily available to them.
A touch of a button puts users in touch with a 911 dispatcher.
And this does have two-way communication with the 911 dispatcher directly.
The city says the phones were installed about a month ago and have already been used. Their addition won't subtract from security measures already in place.
This will not replace any current measure we have in place, including the security services or police walking around the area.
The executive director of Brantford's largest homeless shelter says the new stations help everyone.
Very often people don't know what to do, don't know who to turn to. And if there's something here that's got a specific purpose to it that will allow people to reach emergency services quickly and safely, then I think that's a great idea.
House thinks so too.
I think that's great to have access to that.
The city says it'll be using these new phones here in Harmony Square as a pilot project. And if they're successful, visitors and residents could soon see more code blues in and around the downtown core. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Brantford.
A Canadian veteran has been touring the country on a mission to support fellow soldiers, raising money for thousands who are battling PTSD. With more on his stop here in London, here's Sean Irvin.
Some wear their heart and message on their sleeve. Bob Burton wears his on his vest and on his car. Bob is a veteran with 28 years of service in multiple theaters, including Afghanistan. Now, after his own battle, he wants to help others.
Why do I want to do that? Because there's lots of us out there, like I did, isolated for years.
The East Coaster reports he began to disconnect after witnessing children killed in an explosion in Afghanistan. In 2014, he sought help.
They said that's where my trauma stems from.
But identifying the source did not ease the pain. Alcohol did for a time, but ultimately, it was all too much.
4 years ago, I tried to commit suicide.
His son intervened.
So I came out of the woods in New Brunswick. Long story short, I don't have those thoughts and tendencies anymore.
But to heal, he needed a purpose, and that purpose became his plan to drive his electric car from one end of the country to the other and back again, to raise funds for homeless veterans through the charity Vets Canada. Now on his return trip, he passed through London. In 1 month, his journey will end in Newfoundland. At each stop, he speaks to veterans and supporters at local legions.
If I can get the message out across the country and tell my story and be vulnerable, maybe others out there will see me and say, hey, maybe it's my time.
Along the way, other veterans, including Bradley Sullivan, have stepped up to offer a night away from sleeping in the car.
I'm praying that other people will understand what he's doing, why he's doing it, and hopefully be able to make a contribution, however big or small.
So far, Bob has raised $16,000 in cash, along with a still-to-be-counted online component. A $100 donation from a homeless veteran in Winnipeg has stuck with him.
He said, I'm okay now. He said, I'm off the streets. I have a job. He said, please take the $100 bill.
Which is ultimately what Bob wants for other veterans living on the streets.
If I can save one, and I think I have, maybe I can do better, right?
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
When we come back, international assistance fighting BC wildfires. The latest on the situation in Summerland and the ongoing evacuations. Plus, military recognition for a Canadian soldier, raising questions about our involvement in the U.S.-Iran war.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. Reinforcements have arrived in Summerland, British Columbia, supporting firefighting efforts, trying to salvage what's left of the community. Thousands were forced to flee, and as Andrew Johnson reports, when they are allowed to return, there may not be much left.
When Joel Patton and his family escaped their home near Summerland, flames that had traveled kilometers in just minutes were already at his back door.
My 5-year-old Chloe, she was tears. She had 3 bags on. I'm saying, hey, honey, you know, Dad's not scared. You're not scared. So we calmly got them out.
But it wasn't until he saw this photo the next morning the worst was confirmed. His home is gone.
We've lost everything in the fire.
4 days later, Patton's safe in Penticton, working to collect donations for his community. The entire district of Summerland and part of Peachland to the north remain evacuated. The fire grew overnight. It's now more than 178 square kilometers. That's double the size of the town. Reduced smoke in the area actually hurt the firefight, allowing more oxygen and heat to get through.
Even last night, without much wind, we were seeing very challenging conditions and quite significant growth in some areas of that wildfire.
As the evacuation drags on, more impacts to the community become clear. Jesse Ritchie's waterfront restaurant is one of many forced to throw out spoiled food.
It's not food safe and it's not legal to serve.
They were able to get into the restaurant to salvage what they could for 1 hour yesterday. Tens of thousands of dollars in meat, seafood, and vegetables had to be tossed out.
Like, our staff were in tears. Just the fact that this product is now being wasted and not being consumed and utilized, and we're not able to donate it or do anything with it. That's one of the worst experiences I've faced in 20 years in this industry.
He's worried for the entire town that relies on summer tourism to get through the lean winter.
Unless the government is able to step in and subsidize these small businesses, there's people that aren't going to be able to survive.
An uphill climb for a community whose mayor says, whatever happens, no one will go it alone.
We need to just pull together as the community we are and get through this, and we will. And we'll get through this and we'll be stronger.
Summerland Mayor Doug Holmes also acknowledged no one's going home anytime soon. He said plans are well underway for a staggered return. But until crews can get that fire under control, some 20,000 people will be forced to wait. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Penticton, BC.
Federal officials are reiterating no Canadians were involved in attacks on Iran when the U.S. and Israel launched their war last year. The question was asked because a high-ranking Canadian colonel has been recognized for helping people escape a potential target site when the fighting broke out. Judy Trin reports.
The name of a Canadian colonel who organized a massive emergency operation in the Middle East to bring people to safety has been kept under wraps for more than a year.
It's quite ludicrous that we wouldn't be celebrating this in an open way, in a transparent way.
Colonel David Turenne was awarded the Meritorious Service Cross. His leadership was noted through an innocuous government statement, recognizing him for helping evacuate 10,000 personnel from the Al Udeid Air Base in June of 2025. That was when the U.S. and Israel launched their 12-day war against Iran. The base became a target.
The threat is obvious. They're within striking distance of the ballistic cruise missile and, non-conventional threats, sabotage, bombs, these kinds of things, terrorist acts, that Iran can pose to them.
Turenne, one of a handful of Canadians embedded with U.S. forces, helped move soldiers and equipment out of the Middle East to Shaw Air Base in South Carolina. A former Conservative defense minister believes the Liberal government kept this quiet for political reasons.
Then and now, I suspect that it was a domestic political calculus.
This is another example of a lack of transparency with the Iran conflict.
I'm not the only spokesperson for the government, but I'll just confirm that Canadian forces are, the members of the Canadian forces are all safe and sound.
After war reignited in February, a Canadian forces hub in Kuwait was bombed, but the government didn't tell the public until the damage was captured in satellite photos.
Canadian military and the government are balancing the need for operational security for ongoing operations and the personal security of those individuals who are deployed.
In a statement, the Department of National Defense says that the role of Colonel David Turenne was to help move military personnel from 17 nations off the base. D&D reiterates that Canada did not participate in any offensive attacks against Iran. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Julie's on the desk with me now. Earlier, Julie, you mentioned that it seemed like we were avoiding the rain today, at least here in London. What are the chances that'll continue for us as we go through the next little while?
Well, tomorrow looks like the main rain will be north of the city. So areas like Huron County, you could see upwards of 30 millimeters of rainfall. So expecting some heavy rain and thunderstorms moving through in the morning. I'll show you that forecast model in just a second. Temperatures over the next few hours staying nice and warm out there. The wind's light and still a slight chance for a pop-up shower, possibility of a thunderstorm, but things looking pretty bleak in terms of storm action tonight. 26 our high today, 18 degrees our low, right around where we should be for this time of year. At the London airport, 25 degrees and the winds on the hour calm. Showers and thunderstorms are along the stationary boundary, and that weather story continues. It's acting basically like a runway, and storms are developing and as they bubble up along there. You can see the severe weather that's driving off to the south. So if that front wave's a bit further north, we see some of those showers and thunderstorms push into southern Ontario. We did have them brush by Essex County and just out over the lake. Satellite radar showing some thunderstorms trying to make the move over Lake Huron, so there's still the risk as we push towards midnight tonight. After midnight, the chance for showers will wind down, and we'll start the day tomorrow in London with cloudy with sunny breaks. But north of the city, it looks like we will start the day with some showers and storms. Across the country tonight, there's been some active weather in through Alberta. Thunderstorms bubbling up once again today, but temperatures have cooled off recently with some recent rains. 21 to 25 degrees across the southern prairies. Still, that heat remains bottled up towards Texas, Arkansas. You can see still at 37, so that will stay well off to the south. We'll not be getting into that flow in the extended forecast. Our winds will actually be shifting to the north as we head into the weekend. Overnight, 15 degrees in London, 12 in Mount Forest and KW, so comfortable temperatures, but still you can feel the mugginess to the air. So tomorrow once again will be another humid day. Muggy conditions in the morning with a bit of fog, and then the muggy air holds into the afternoon. So the humidity tomorrow afternoon will feel like the mid-30s. So as we take this model out, you can see this is tomorrow morning. So just north of London, Huron, Perth, Oxford County, Brant County as well. There is the potential for some heavy rainfall. Now this can of course shift overnight. So watching that line of storms as it pushes through. And then Wednesday morning, you can see just continuing in the area, Haldeman, Norfolk towards Niagara, and then pushing through London, likely between 12 and 1 p.m. That'll be our shower risk window, but you can see how close it is. So in terms of the rain lasting all day, it won't. It'll be fairly brief, with the exception north of London. It looks like some heavier rainfall. So areas like Goderich, you could see upwards of 30 plus millimeters of rain. Then as we head into Wednesday evening, another round coming through. And this will be our weather story continuing as we head into Thursday. By Friday, high pressure builds. That'll stabilize the atmosphere and conditions will start to improve drastically. We'll be back to sunshine with the risk of showers dropping. 26 degrees tomorrow afternoon. That probability, as I showed you, coming in at about a 40% chance. Winds out of the southwest, 20 with gusts of 40. Same story on Thursday. And then Friday, that boundary moves out. High pressure builds in. Friday looks great. Saturday, gorgeous with lots of sunshine. Saturday evening, the clouds will start to move in. And then there is the chance for showers as we head into Sunday. Forecast indicating a bit milder as we head through the overnight lows as well. And the daytime highs coming up a bit over the weekend now in comparison to yesterday. So yesterday the daytime highs were a bit cooler. Today we're getting back into some warmer air. Midwestern Ontario, showers, possibility of thunderstorms tomorrow, especially in the morning, and then some breaks in the afternoon, still quite humid, and then into a mix of sun and cloud heading into Thursday. Friday and Saturday look great, Carlyle. Sunday, we do have some showers coming in. I am expecting that probability to go up on Sunday. It looks more of a widespread rain, not a pop-up shower. So next couple of days we'll be in and out of some rainfall, and then Friday, Saturday, things are looking good. We have a couple days with back-to-back sunshine.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, blockbusters are back. A big summer at the box office with record revenues at Canadian movie theaters. And Lauren's on the desk with me now because a little later in the newscast, it's Behind the Lights, Lauren.
We're going to be looking at Japanese head spas, and the first one in southwestern Ontario.
All right, that's coming up. Stay with us.
I hate to say it, but back to school is just around the corner, which is why we want to hook you up with a $200 Shoppers Drug Mart gift card.
AKA Shopping Spree. Be listening tomorrow morning at 8:35 for your chance to win.
CTV London and Pure Country 93 have your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Chris Stapleton when he brings the All-American Roadshow Tour to Rogers Stadium in Toronto on September 1st with Ashley McBride and Zach Topp. Enter now at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to win your way in.
Gas prices are expected to rise tomorrow. Industry analysts say gas prices will rise about 6 cents a litre overnight, bringing the average price across Ontario stations to about $1.69. Diesel could rise even more, roughly 12 cents a litre.
There is no doubt that this has been the wildest ride in energy prices we've ever seen. Worse than 2008, I might add. A lot of stuff back then. But it's not that it's It's up and down. It's up and down rather radically. I mean, we're going up 6 cents a liter tomorrow, 168.9. Diesel's going up 12 cents a liter, 220.9. Now, we've seen these numbers before, but, you know, the anticipation of prices going up and down, I think, is pretty critical because it's going to save people a lot of money. But this time, it's a little different. You know, we don't have this midweek declaration by President Trump that things are getting better. There's a deal just around the corner, or a response by Iran that maybe there might be a cessation of hostilities.
Cineplex officials are reporting their highest ever second quarter revenue, with nearly 13 million people visiting theaters so far this year. Heather Wright has more on the blockbusters helping at the box office.
I'm Spider-Man.
Summer blockbusters are shattering records. Spider-Man broke the North American record for an opening weekend, bringing in $360 million U.S. at the box office. While Christopher Nolan's epic The Odyssey has officially become the highest-grossing IMAX release of all time. The two films giving a boost to movie theaters.
It's better if you go to the cinema because there's so many people there. Like, you can feel the emotions through the other audience as well.
The North American box office has officially topped $4 billion this summer, according to analytics company Rentrack. The summer season is crucial for theaters, typically representing about 40% of the annual box office.
What is it about the big blockbusters that you makes want to see them in the theater?
I don't really know. It's just like more exciting.
This is just the second time post-COVID-19 pandemic that North American summer box office numbers have hit the $4 billion mark. It's a benchmark that was routinely hit pre-pandemic.
And the hope for theaters is that this is not just a blip, but rather a sustained return to seeing movies on big screens, devoid of the distractions that come with watching from home.
I think that we are going to see people going back to theaters. I think that it in some way may depend on what movies get released, but there's all these like little ones coming out of left field that are really grabbing people's attention.
And with a few weeks still to go until the Labor Day long weekend closes out the summer movie season, insiders say it's quite likely that this summer is the most profitable one for the movie industry since 2019.
Heather Wright, CTV News.
A warning for anyone who does their own oil changes. If something goes wrong, it could negate your warranty coverage, leaving you on the hook for full repair costs. Pat Foran reports.
I've been around vehicles and engines and stuff pretty well my whole life.
Shannon Desjardins of Sudbury says she's been doing oil changes on her own vehicles for years.
For me to just be able to have everything at home and do it when it's convenient for me.
2 years ago, she leased a 2024 Subaru Outback. She was doing oil changes and keeping records. But in January, at 71,000 kilometers, something went wrong.
I was almost home and a little red light came on, which I'd never seen before, but it was an oil light.
The light went out, so the next day she continued to drive it.
On my way back into town, the light came on again, and that's where I ultimately had it towed because there was obviously a bigger issue.
Desjardins was told there was sludge in the engine and other major problems. She was asked to provide proof of oil changes and said she did them herself. That's when she was told repairs would not be covered under warranty.
The only reason why they're denying it is because I did my own oil changes.
We reached out to Subaru Canada and a spokesperson said owner-completed maintenance must follow the maintenance schedule. A record of all services must be supported with documentation, including receipts to ensure warranty coverage can be determined appropriately. If you're handy and have an older car, you may want to do your own oil changes. But if you have a newer vehicle still under warranty, you should return to the dealer or at least an auto shop or lube shop that can give you a paper trail with receipts.
When you do the oil change yourself, the risk is too high. I wouldn't do it.
Car Help Canada says a dealer will keep detailed records and use the correct oil and filters. The group says as repairs get more expensive, changing oil yourself may not be worth it.
You might think you're saving $100, $150. It might cost you thousands of dollars afterward.
It doesn't sit well with me.
Subaru said their investigation is continuing. Desjardins continues to make lease payments and pay insurance on a car she can't drive. Pat Foran, CTV News.
There were narrow gains on Canada's main stock index today. The TSX rose 18 points. In New York, the Dow lost 184. The Nasdaq fell 160. The Canadian dollar is up 0.07 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained $21 an ounce. Oil added a little more than $1 a barrel. Coming up, auto theft on the decline. The latest numbers showing stolen vehicle rates falling back to where they were before the pandemic.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
3 awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even beat Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 97.5 Virgin Radio.
City officials say London has blown past its latest federal housing target with a month to spare. During the first 3 years of the Housing Accelerator Fund, City Hall has approved construction of almost 12,000 new residential units. With a month to go, that's 163 homes more than the federal target. By hitting these milestones, the city is qualified for millions of dollars to support municipal housing incentives.
We will unlock additional funding for the municipality. I think it's upwards of $20 million, which will allow our staff to bring forward options to us to do things like continue very successful programs like the office to residential conversion or the transit-oriented development, programs that we know are oversubscribed and run out of money.
A new report shows vehicle theft across the country is down 10% compared to the same time last year. With more on the factors behind the drop and what vehicles thieves are still targeting, here's John Musselman.
Despite the improving numbers, experts suggest a vehicle is stolen in this country every 10 minutes.
I keep hearing more and more occurrences, so I feel like it's getting more prevalent.
It may seem like it, but new numbers tell a different story. A report from a non-profit anti-fraud group says vehicle thefts are down. Here's a look at the numbers. Auto thefts in Canada, 10% lower than 2025. In the first half of 2025, 23,000 vehicles were stolen. In the first half of 2026, that's down to 20,759.
Even though we're seeing a decline, we still have a lot of vehicles being stolen. Interpol still calls us a stolen vehicle nation, where vehicles are being stolen and exported to other nations.
Still, the drop in auto thefts is a result of several factors, including governments at all levels working together with law enforcement and greater public awareness about the risks.
Yeah, it is. It's concern. I got a device in here that helps me. The camera front and back.
I'm very diligent about putting my car in the garage or making sure I lock the car. But other than that, I don't know what else you can do.
My view, it has decreased a bit in this area at least.
Experts say a drop in thefts is a good sign, but luxury vehicles are still being targeted and the GTA remains a problem.
High population of Ontario, the high number of targeted vehicles that the organized crime groups really want, and their proximity to the Port of Montreal and the eastern ports.
But experts say tightening at the ports has shifted the stolen vehicles towards traditional chop shops. Parts are packaged and sold domestically and internationally. John Musselman, CTV News.
Tomorrow on CTV News, protesting school bus policy, the concerns over bus monitors, and the belief they could jeopardize kids' safety on board. That's tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Our photograph of the day from Tillsonburg. Thank you so much, Christine Riches. Scattered showers and thunderstorms linger into Wednesday, feeling like the mid-30s. It's going to be a humid day. Conditions clear for your Friday and lots of sunshine on Saturday.
Ukrainian authorities say Russian attacks killed 12 people today. They're reporting a strike on the grounds of a children's hospital in Kyiv. They say the occupants were in shelters, though, and no one was hurt there. A strike in a southeastern city reportedly killed 6 people using missiles built in North Korea. Officials in Colombia say the death toll from yesterday's earthquake is now more than 200. Search and rescue operations are underway in dozens of cities and towns in the country's western regions. More than 3,000 people are reportedly missing, many believed to be trapped under debris. About 1,600 buildings have been reported damaged or collapsed. American officials are offering $15.5 million for emergency shelter, food, and other aid. Latin American governments have also organized support. American media outlets are reporting President Donald Trump was secretly flown out of the NATO summit in Turkey earlier this year on an alternate military aircraft because of Iranian assassination threats. According to those reports, Trump was seen changing from a Qatari-gifted Air Force One to an older version of that plane. He was expected to depart on that plane, but behind the scenes, he was reportedly shuttled in secret to a smaller plane inside an airport catering cart. He was then flown to England on the smaller jet, while staffers and media flew on Air Force One, the aircraft that was reportedly under threat. White House officials have not directly responded to questions about the reports, only saying they use every tool available to address threats. Researchers on Prince Edward Island are exploring a lesser-known crop with growing potential to cut costs. Maria Saru has more on the so-called wonder grain and what it could mean for the environment.
There's a lot of costs associated with planting a crop, so if you can get away with planting it once every 3 to 5 years, then you save those inputs.
Research scientist Aaron Mills says wheat can cost up to $800 to plant per acre, but for Kernza, it's closer to $100. And it can also do double duty, producing both grain and forage for livestock. But there are trade-offs like lower returns, and the market is limited, making it a good fit for farmers looking for a rotational crop.
It's not for everybody. What we try to do is add more tools to the toolbox for farmers.
One of Kernza's biggest advantages may be below ground. Its roots stay in the soil year-round, storing carbon pulled from the atmosphere. And because it needs less fertilizer and fewer trips across the field, researchers say it can also cut greenhouse gas emissions. Not only can it survive in maritime conditions, but also western winters. So land isn't left bare between crops.
I'm out west where this was prairie, and the great soils that we had were the result of having the permanent ground cover. So there are some maybe long-term benefits for all of us.
He adds Kernza is already being used to make artisan bread and brew beer, but there's potential for more. Researchers are now watching to see just how long Kernza can keep growing in the same field before it needs to be replanted. Maria Saru, CTV News, Harrington, Prince Edward Island.
And on the other side of the break, Lauren Sloan, and we'll have a few other guests with us because I don't know about you, Lauren, this contraption, I wouldn't know where to start with this.
Me neither, but I think we're going to be looking at our scalps potentially.
All right, we will get the expert in on this on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A developing story now from City Hall where.
Download the CTV News app.
And before we go tonight, it's Behind the Lights with Lauren Stallone. Julie back on the desk with us, and we have a special guest here, Lauren, Danielle.
That's right, Danielle. You're the owner of Zen and Flow Japanese Head Spa, the first Japanese head spa in southwestern Ontario. So thank you for being here. And before we get into the social media aspect of it all, I want to understand how you took this ritual and developed it into your business.
Well, I took my mom, actually, last Mother's Day, and I completely fell in love with it.
To Japan?
No, we were here just outside of London. I wish. Oh, my goodness. And I just fell in love. I've been in so many different jobs in my life that it's just taken a toll on, you know, my body and really trying to put myself into wellness. So, and taking care of myself. I have 2 little boys. And once I experienced it, I knew this is for me. This is what I need to do. I love helping people, and I want to give them this ultimate relaxation and then scalp health is actually at the core of it too.
What about the practice appealed to you? Is it just, it sounds like there's a vibe about it that really spoke to you?
Oh, absolutely. It just feels like when you were little and your mom and dad used to just touch your head or give you hugs and kisses. It's so gentle that you can do it very often. It will never hurt you. And just, it's mesmerizing. It really puts you in that trance.
So it's about wellness, it's about relaxation. Is that the main thing, the relaxation part?
Relaxation and scalp health as well.
Okay, all right.
And we're seeing it go viral on social media right now. How has that helped you, and why do you think people are so obsessed with it? I know there's a satisfaction element as well.
Oh, absolutely, especially the before and after pictures. People love that. But I think it's, once they've come to me, I do the Yume method. So it's Takara Belmont, it's a noble bed. So our is actually a full panel waterfall, and it's actually hitting pressure points on your head. So it's, your hair's already clean, so it's really coming down your head and just puts you in, like you can see, in such a beautiful trance, and it's so relaxing.
It looks relaxing.
I want to go.
You need to come.
Well, tell us about this then. We teased this before the break. What exactly is this? I know this guy comes out, and then what happens?
So this is a scalp analysis machine. So what I do is I turn it on, and, oh, it's already on, and I will, can I check your hair?
Okay, this is going to be
Let's
strange.
see, Julie.
So what I do is I start with this. This is with every single treatment. We go to the scalp, we part the hair, and what we're looking for is just to see the scalp environment and to see how it is looking in there. So it's kind of hard to see in here, but you can see that, you can see your hair and the follicle. And what we want to do is each hair, it actually wants to look like it's coming out of a cup, or you can call it a bowl. If you can't see that, that means it has buildup of oils, there can be excess skin. So we want that to be free, so then you have the blood flow going to there. If it's not, that's how hair follicles die, and we don't want that.
Wow. So this promotes
This is what
hair
happens
growth.
when hair follicles
Right?
die.
I was going to say, but this promotes hair growth then.
Yes.
So a healthy scalp, okay.
Absolutely.
Carlyle. You've been there.
I already pulled the trigger. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Danielle. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. This is so interesting.
That's Behind the Lights with Lauren Stallone. For all of us at CTV News London, thanks for watching tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Good night.